Mr. Batman, I saw you you were on the news for harassing homosexuals or something.
No.
2 lesbians.
They said I was harassing a lesbian married couple. And I corrected them saying there's no such thing, because in order to be married, you know what you got to have? A husband requires a wife.
You didn't correct them on the harassment part.
A husband. So wife cannot have a wife by definition. They didn't like that.
You didn't correct them on the harassment
But you were yelling at them through a loudspeaker about it, right?
No, actually, I was preaching to everyone in the square. And so these two folks jumped up on a park bench across the street from me. Now, I've gone like 10 minutes. It's all the videos right there if you want to watch the whole damn thing. Nobody does. But anyway, for 10 minutes, I'm preaching God's love, his forgiveness, his blessing. He wants to give you the best life possible right now if you will repent and follow him. Just admit that you're wrong and follow him. You know that's why they call me a hate preacher? Because I told them that they were
Wait, but did you correct them on the harassment
Next thing
part?
you know, these two up on the park bench, and they're screaming and hollering at me, all obscenities, and then they start licking each other's face. You know what? Okay, you got it. And so they started hooping and hollering.
Her parents. A Scottsburg man is being accused of harassing a lesbian couple while preaching in the town courtyard. You're watching Wave News at 11. I'm Noelle Friel. John Bull is off tonight. The couple who owns businesses in the area claims he shouts phrases condemning their lifestyle, pointing to religion. This is all happening on the Scottsburg courthouse lawn. Wave News reporter David Ochoa looked into the claims.
Yeah, the man has videos on his Facebook and YouTube showing him doing what he calls street preaching, but not just in Scottsburg. But sometimes he'll come down to Louisville to do it at Pride events. It's led to a group of counter-protesters meeting him in Scottsburg every Wednesday.
This is Mr. Batman, which is what he calls himself. And since he hasn't been charged with a crime, we decided not to identify him. He's a pastor in Indiana, and in June, he started preaching on the corner of the Scottsburg courthouse lawn.
I love being in homosexuals' pictures. Uh-oh, look, photo bomb. Okay, kids, avert your eyes. Sexual perverts at work.
Emily Deaton and Marv are married and have businesses right across the street. They say when he saw them, he targeted them with his words.
When we both came out onto the sidewalk, he turned it into a direct thing at us, and his comments were very directed and just really hateful.
This is one of his preaching videos he posted on his YouTube page. Some of it directed at gay people.
Unfortunately, homosexuals put their sexuality in the face of the living God. That's a problem.
The women say he told them their child doesn't have real parents because they're gay.
This was very direct comments at me, saying that I'm a pervert and that my child is going to hell, and that's harassment in my book.
They say he showed up to preach at the same exact time for 5 Wednesdays in a row. Soon after, some counter-protesters started showing up to try and distract from his message.
We keep it away from anything that's political or religious or anything that's offensive towards him even, because we want it to be a more positive environment for anybody that could otherwise be hearing what he's saying.
In the same video, you can hear police officers come up and talk to him. He tells them he was just walking around and not directing his messages at anyone.
Who's that call about? They said you were like harassing someone. I'm a street preacher. I'm not a hate preacher. All I'm saying is God can bless people. Okay. God can forgive people. Yep. And nobody has to stay in the position that they're in. You're right. Now, and unfortunately, people take harassment for that.
After I heard this was happening every Wednesday, I showed up at his usual time to try and talk to him. He was there at first, but drove away. So I tried calling him.
You have reached Mr. Batman.
He didn't pick up, so I went to his house. His car was in the driveway, but no one answered the door. He did eventually call me back and left me a message that he would be happy to answer my questions. I called him back twice, but was never able to get a hold of him again.
Neighbors told me he's very well known in the area and has become a nuisance for a lot of them. David Ochoa, Wave News.
All right, David.